Deliberations continue on the frequency and speed of a future train service. Well, now we're learning the OPP has no evidence to support those claims. Incredible discovery for a Syrian refugee. 5 world-class illusionists. One incredible show. Congratulations are in order for high school hockey. Well, earlier this morning, QP told Global News Peterborough that decision was, quote, absolutely wrong. Live from the scene, Tricia Mason joins us. Tricia, pretty loud out there right now. What are you hearing from those education workers? How are you working to communicate more with the public? What do you say to those people, David, and how do you reassure your constituents that you will in fact be there when they need you? Say you can get an agreement going in 6 months from when you get elected. How is that possible? Aside from calling out the Liberal government, really, what have you done to address this issue? Who would this be accessible to if it were to be approved? Check on the forecast. Not as humid as it is in that pool, Teresa, outside right now. So glad you are joining us because Kayleigh Baddour has started a debate that is going to end in a fist fight, I'm sure. Kayleigh Baddour is back with her nonsense on Monday. A decade after she disappeared, a Peterborough family is still searching for their loving and nurturing Lorraine, the 58-year-old woman last seen at this movie theater in Peterborough. No, man, it's really not that serious. Actually, it is. And that's money down the drain. And he's still saying paying for news means those who can't afford it remain uninformed. Well, University of Ottawa's Stacey Smith says this inequity could be dangerous, even deadly. Morning. At this section on the Trans-Canada Trail on Atkinson Road, police found perhaps one of the only pieces of evidence made public to local media. Lorraine's van, a 2001 gray Pontiac Montana. 68,000 Canadians are currently living with HIV in Canada. However, get this, 14% of those people don't withdrawal symptoms for when heavy drinkers cut the alcohol.
I get the feeling you're being watched.
Get your booster shot, yeah! Well, whether the message is loud or whether we've heard it many times, Bradley says misinformation about the Queen can be weaponized by anti-monarchist political groups in Commonwealth countries. Opinion polling gone. But in Canada, others say it's the least of our election concerns. Consistently hammered onto tech giants like Facebook, where a 2020 study found that misinformation had, quote, found a comfortable home and an engaged audience on the platform. But a disinformation expert in BC says we can't move to a new platform if we're already struggling to regulate this one. Say that means misinformation like this will continue to threaten Canadians. Say it's a clear agenda to silence and intimidate those covering the coronavirus. And even, believe it or not, the panini. New terminology like Deltacron can catch like wildfire. And experts say be detrimental to the fight against COVID-19 when emotion takes hold.
The word closure, there is no closure. It's a wound in your heart that just, it's there.
The last time Antonia Walton spoke to her sister Lorraine Roach, she says they'd been arguing, as all siblings do, over something silly.
She dropped me off at home and I said, I'll talk to you later. And that's the last time I saw her.
6 weeks later, Lorraine would go missing. The siblings used to talk on the phone weekly. But this time, when Anne heard the news, she was hopeful Lorraine would still turn up and call her phone. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months, months to 10 years. Anne's phone never rang. Her sister Lorraine never to be heard from again.
I love you. I miss you. I wish you were here.
Lorraine Roach was a 58-year-old woman at the time of her disappearance and a resident of Selwyn Township.
Often said to have vanished without a trace, Lorraine Roach left behind 3 children and 4 grandchildren. Well, 10 years later, Lorraine is still missing and foul play is suspected in her case. But now, OPP Detective Inspector Curtis Fredericks tells me,
we do not believe she is alive.
You do not believe she's alive?
No.
May 10, 2013, around 6:40 p.m. The last confirmed sighting of Lorraine was here at Galaxy Cinemas on Water Street in Peterborough. Lorraine captured on CCTV buying a ticket to see the movie Oblivion alone.
Unfortunately, we do not know much beyond that point. We don't know her movements between the time of the movie and when she's reported missing.
That leaves a gap of 3 days. Lorraine is believed to have left the theater at some point and driven to her Hilliard Street house. Her husband, George Roach, previously said he saw Lorraine leaving their house again at 1:30 a.m. to go to a casino in the region, although it's unclear which one. Lorraine never came home. After 3 days, on May 13th, 2013, her husband told OPP, who then declared Lorraine missing, prompting a search. That morning, at this section on the Trans-Canada Trail on Atkinson Road, police found perhaps one of the only pieces of evidence made public to local media. Lorraine's van, a 2001 gray Pontiac Montana, was found abandoned by the entrance of the trail. Inside the van, multiple items belonging to Lorraine, none of them, police say, point to where she went.
Now, several ground searches have been conducted throughout this area.
Police aren't saying what led them to search this area.
We're really concerned for her well-being. She's been missing over a week now.
Lorraine Roach was last seen at 1:30 in the morning.
The longer we go, the fewer the tips that we do receive.
10 years and no sign from Lorraine. Anne says her sister would never go this long without contacting her, which is why, despite the lack of answers, she also believes Lorraine is dead. What do you think Lorraine deserves?
She deserves not to be forgotten, and she deserves to have her case solved.
Well, after all these years, police still believe someone knows something about what happened to Lorraine. OPP are offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the persons responsible for the disappearance of Lorraine Roach. If you have any information, contact Peterborough County OPP or Crime Stoppers. Noor Ibrahim, Global News. Well, it's a cruel summer no more for Taylor Swift fanatics like David Valentin.
If I'm successful at seeing Taylor in Canada, it'll be my 4th time seeing Taylor Swift.
Fan reaction exploding on social media Thursday with the news that Taylor is playing 6 shows in the 6, although that isn't until November 2024.
This is the email people are receiving right now to register for the sale.
Get everyone you know to register with Ticketmaster, says Valentin, and plan ahead.
Book your hotel now. The price for hotels is going to be astronomical. Her impact on a city is equivalent to that of the Super Bowl coming to town.
6 shows? We have to go.
How much would you shell out for this concert?
$1,000. That's how much I love her.
You think this was like a publicity stunt?
How can she fit in 6 more shows? It doesn't make much sense unless she had it planned all along.
My daughter is a huge Taylor Swift fan. I put everybody's email in for the opportunity to see one of her shows.
It's me. Hi. Because it's not only 6 nights, but it's the last 6 nights of the tour. So people coming from across Canada, from into the US to come here. And these are people that'll be making a trip of it.
Spending money on food, hotels, and boosting the local economy in late November, says Andrew Weir, a time when business is usually slowing down.
I'm not like that big of a fan of her, so...
Well, Swiftie or not, planning for security, traffic, and parking will happen well in advance, says Weir, as Taylor becomes the first artist to play the Rogers Centre 6 times as part of a single tour. All tickets are expected to sell during the Ticketmaster fan pre-sale going on right now. Registration closes this Saturday. If they don't get contacted, do you think they'll be upset?
I think we'll be in mourning.
Noor Ra'fat Ibrahim, Global News.